Hey BookTube, my name is Samantha and I'm bringing you my very first video since I am a newbie. This is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a long time, and it's come to the point where I want to start sharing my reviews with you. So we're going to go through the 10 questions that you've seen with every BookTube Newbie Tag and have you get to know a little bit about me. So here we go. So question number 1 is, why did you start this channel? So I said a little bit about it already, but I really wanted to start this channel to be able to talk about the books I'm reading. A lot of the friends and family that I communicate with about books, they don't always necessarily have the same taste as me, or may not feel as passionately and want to talk about books as much as I do. So I figured it's time to get involved in the BookTube community and be able to interact with other people who enjoy reading as much as I do. Question 2, what are some fun and unique things that you think you can bring to YouTube? So I'm not so much conscious of the impact that I want to make and what I'm going to bring to BookTube. It's more of just sharing my opinions with others and having a platform to talk with other people about what I really love reading. Sometimes I want to be able to talk more in depth about a book, more than I can say in a Goodreads review, but I never really have the opportunity to share that opinion and to go back and forth with individuals about how I feel on a book. So I think the biggest part of me that I'll bring to BookTube is the different perspectives that I see things from, and maybe reading some books out there that aren't necessarily being talked about a lot. A lot of booktubers, as you all know, are mainly focused on YA books, and there are some booktubers out there talking about adult books, but I feel like even then it's not the books that I'm necessarily interested in. So I'm hoping I can shed light on some more books that may not be talked about as much, but definitely deserve the praise. Question number 3, what are you most excited about with this new channel? For me, honestly, it's going to be having the opportunity to talk about the books I want to talk about and putting it out there to share with other people and hopefully have conversations with other people about the same books. It seems like so often I don't get to have these long conversations about books that I really wish I could have, and I'm really excited about putting my ideas out there, putting up the theories and the themes and the ideas that spark in my head when I'm reading a book, and just being able to communicate with others on how they feel about it. Question number 4, why do you love reading? I've always enjoyed reading ever since I was a little kid. Before I can even remember, my parents would set a huge stack of picture books next to me when I was like 2 years old. And when I was sitting in the car seat for trips, I would just look through the picture books, put it on one side, pick up the next one and leaf through it. As an adult, I find it more of an escape from the real world, which I think a lot of people read for the same reasons. You will not find much literary fiction in my TBRs or in the books I read. I do not read a lot of nonfiction. It comes up, but you're not going to find it here. Even with award-winning books, it's just not my cup of tea. It's not going to happen. It's not why I read. I'm really passionate about reading because I want to go into other worlds and explore different things that I can only explore in my own imagination. Question number 5, what book or series got you into reading? As a kid, I had my phases. My first phase where I remember really enjoying reading refers to that section up there. Some of you, I wonder if you can guess what that section is. If you guessed Goosebumps, you'd be right. I remember reading this at night in my bed with the little light turned on so I can read at night, and just loving this book and being so scared out of my mind reading this book. But as you can see, I collected a lot of those when I was in middle school. Probably about 6th grade or so is when I really got into that. And I'm still trying to get a full collection of that. I'm only missing like 2 or 3 books. Getting there. In the second phase of my life, it was around the same time. You know, I'm enjoying reading, I'm loving it, but I'm trying to find what I really enjoy. I really enjoyed horror, but it's like you can't read scary books all the time. Some of you out there, you can, but this girl can't. So that was when I found my love for fantasy. The very first fantasy book that I ever read was Sabriel by Garth Nix. And this is a series that I've actually been seeing on BookTube more frequently, which makes me so happy because this was the book that got me to love fantasy and grow my love of fantasy ever since. I actually just reread the first 3 books in the series, and I'll probably be doing a video later on talking more about my thoughts and opinions about the series, now reading it about 15 years later. So keep an eye out for that. Question number 6 is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Who are my favorite booktubers? Thoughts on Tomes, Between Chapters by Trina, Little Book Owl by Kaz, T. Hags, also Leanne from Literary Diversions. Those are the booktubers that I go to the most. I enjoy their personalities. I love how genuine and real they are. And I think the only question I would have is, how do you balance reading the books that you really want to read and the books that they're really popular and you want to make a video on it, but you may not be so interested in? Because I'm a little worried that's coming in my future. Question number 7. What challenges do you think are going to be the hardest to overcome in starting a new BookTube channel? I think there's multiple aspects of it, and I think the longer I'm in it, the easier it's going to be once I have a structure and a routine. But it's going to be difficult for me at the beginning to continue a routine on making videos. I already have plans in the works for 4 or 5 different videos right now, but it's going to be a matter of making those videos, editing those videos, and posting them in a fashion where it's not all at once and then nothing for like 5 months. I really want to make sure that I stick to a routine and that I'm going to be a consistent figure on BookTube so that I'm not just in and out randomly. A second challenge for me, I believe, is going to be my perfectionism. It's something I've been working on for a little while, but I am anticipating that editing is going to be difficult for me because I have a vision of how I want the video to look and how I want to put myself out there. And I'm a little worried I'm going to be so stuck in the editing process that I won't be able to get videos out in the way that I would like them. Question number 8. When did you start reading? Beat you to it. We already went over this question. It was definitely since I was a little girl. There's a video of me somewhere that my mom has of me reading Big Pumpkin. Probably was like 3 years old or something. Question number 9. Where do you read? So this is a fun question. I actually normally read in my reclining chair out in the living room. We're not going out there now because my husband is playing video games. So that brings me to my second place that I read. When he's playing video games with his friend online, I cannot read because it's just too much chatter, too much noise. So then I end up being back here at the other end of the house and I read in the bedroom. Unfortunately, it's not so comfy to read in the bedroom. So I'm kind of in the works of looking for some sort of pillow, book, cup holder, something to make it a little more comfortable to read when I'm in bed. So if any of you guys have suggestions on what you do when you read in bed, please put them in the comments because I'm looking. And question number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? For me, I really enjoy reading fantasy, horror, and genre. a big chunk of my bookshelves here involve fantasy, mystery, horror, and then a little bit of regular fiction or a little bit of manga, as you might see over here, but most of it is on fantasy, horror, and mystery. I am actually in this process of trying to read more classic fantasy books rather than all the new ones that are coming out. And don't get me wrong, I'm totally into the new fantasy. Oh, it's foggy. How long has it been like that? Well, we'll find out when I go to edit this video. I sometimes read romance, I'm not gonna lie. I am not a contemporary girl though. I think I only have one contemporary book. That would be this one, The Secret Lives of Dresses by Erin McKean. And the only reason that I have this book, one, I did enjoy it, not gonna lie. But it also has some sentimental value to me because I read it when I was in Ireland for a month-long trip when I was in college. It was some really good memories, and just having this book on my shelf and even rereading it brings the nostalgia value back for me. But otherwise, like I said, mainly fantasy, mainly horror, mainly mystery. If there are any books that you would like to recommend to me or authors that you think I should read based off of those genres that I gave you, please put them below, but also be prepared because the videos are coming. Hope to see you again soon. Have a good day.